started, or?
Yeah, it's started, so we'll just wait until this obviously gets underway. So we'll see what happens. I wonder, is Boy with No Face on the grid for today's race?
No,
no
he's
spectator.
Yeah. He was briefly in the Sauber and replaced him last minute.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with him. So I'm just gonna give him another invite. I'm sure he's in the dying stages of negotiations, so we'll just toss him an invite. Okay, we're starting this now, so Hulk, what do you make at Austria?
It's not my favourite track by any means. Don't really have the best of records around it. I mean, it's alright to drive, I suppose, but it's like there's not really enough of it. It's too short, really, in my opinion.
No, I know what you mean. It's not the greatest circuit, and we've also got former FP admin, Boy with No Face, also known as Josh, joining us in the commentary box. I don't know if he's on the circuit or not.
No, I'm just in the commentary box today. There was a last minute rejection by the stewards, so I'm going to be offering my insight. I've won here in a McLaren Honda in Formula Performance before, so I think, you know, I can offer some insight from the pit lane.
No, you definitely can, and while we get everything shared on Twitter, the battle in the championship looks really close between Jolyon and Manu, Warren Hay, AMS and various others, so a lot of drivers are fighting today for an opportunity to win a championship on the PSGL site. So we did see a tweet from Joel earlier. He says this is one of his biggest races in his 7 years of league racing, so a big moment for the ever experienced Jolyon Manu. One man who I believe is going to exit the garage first is going to be Game Freaker, and he has requested some airtime in the Sauber. And Hulk, you know Game Freaker really well. Any words?
I wouldn't say I know him really well, but yeah, I can't imagine he'll have done much practice for this. He tends not to practice for most things. But yeah, he's in the Sauber, so obviously not expecting a massive amount of fireworks from him, not expecting to get on the podium or anything like that, but it'll be interesting to see how he does in that car.
Yeah, and Josh, look at him coming out of the track. You've had loads of battles with this man, Game Freaker, you know. How do you feel about him in the Sauber here today? What can he do?
I think he's really going to have an eventful race in that car. You know, it really suits the track. It kind of blends in with the trees, the blue and the green, contrasting colours, and you know, he's really going to enjoy his time out there. He wanted more coverage, so he might try more ambitious moves, maybe. We'll see. But I think, you know, he'll be trying to maybe do a long stint at the start and then fight his way into the points. But it's going to be tough in that car.
It definitely is. Game Freaker is here, and we do know that he could be looking to wind down his career as he moves on to pastures anew. A very popular fan favourite is the Belgian, and there'll be loads of Belgian fans tuning in here today, hoping for the best. And Hulk, just take us through this moment here on board with the Sauber.
Going well, he's just about to begin his lap here. I think he was the first one out, so let's see. I'm going to have to try and get the times up. He heads through turn one, a very tricky corner. It's very easy to get in validation on the exit there, but he seems to have done alright sitting it relatively cautiously. It looks like he's just getting a grip with the Sauber car, which he's quite clearly not used to. Used to driving equal cars at the very least. He heads down to the long pit straight, and my camera is messing up. I'm not following it properly. Yeah, he should. I'm not entirely certain what a representative time will be, but he said he's been doing sort of a, I think was it a mid 1.7 or something like that.
Yeah, I think quite a lot of times are in the high 106s here, and man who has won this race circuit, Josh, you know, I think Game Freaker could be one of the favourites. It's not.
No, I completely agree. I mean, if beforehand you say you want more coverage, it means you're confident, you know, something's gonna happen. So, but I was on board with all the drivers, seeing their fuel coming out of the pits. And Warren Haig, he put 8 laps in. You know, I don't know what he's doing, but maybe he's you know, going for a long stint in qualifying. Maybe he's doing some practice. I'm not really sure, but 8 laps of fuel for Warren Haig.
Yeah, obviously third in the standings, but now we're on board with Jolyon and Manu as the other lap times trickle down. Obviously the man who knows that this could be his moment. So Jolyon and Manu, very experienced, and he'll be looking to set things right after his disappointing finish here last night in 11th, 12th or 13th. It was one of those three positions, and Hulk, can he put the car high up the grid?
Well, hopefully. Sorry, who was it you were talking about there? I wasn't.
It's Jolyon and Manu. I'll take you through the end of this lap here.
Of course.
Here we go. Jolyon and Manu to the line in the Haas. And it's aborted.
I think it was invalidated. Same old Joel.
And what about a broken Oogie Azim as he lags his way across the race circuit? Here we go. The Rawalpindi Express. One more corner to go here, Hulk. Look at him.
Well, actually, yeah, let's see what's his time going to be. Well, he does actually set a time, which is better than Joel did, so it's 108.2, up in 6th place at the moment. It's early on, but we'll see if he can improve on that later on in the session.
Yeah,
Joel's lap was invalidated, but it would have actually put him in P2, so... I mean, if he can replicate that cleanly, that is sensational.
Well,
that's from the title favourite. So
it depends how much he gained from the invalidation, though. I mean, if he cut the entire circuit.
Yellow flags and set to 2, but there is going to be a wet race. I'm hearing from some of the drivers there's a wet race that is forecast, and Game Freaker has said that was a good lap from me. So Game Freaker very ecstatic, 2 seconds off pole position as QPR Beast has lost the car in the pit lane. Disastrous. Where's Jolyon and Manu? He still can't get a lap in. The pressure is getting to him, down in 13th.
What is he actually going for another flying lap here, or is he just...
I think his tyres will be dead, Hulk. Does anybody want to take us through a bit of Juho Finn here starting his lap on the red tyres in the Mercedes?
I think he did relatively well last time out, actually, in Monza. He scored a few points for the in his Mercedes. So yeah, he might be hoping to get on towards the tail end of the points again, especially in the wet weather, which we did have last week, but it wasn't. I don't think it was wet enough for the different tyres, was it?
I can't remember the last race, to be honest with you, Hulk. I just remembered somebody won and a few people finished on the podium. But yeah, all I know is Juho Finn has been a consistent performer in the points.
Oh, Jolyon Manu.
Oh,
He's 6.
6. Well, good lap from
But
Joel.
he's out of fuel now. He really pushed that. He's got no fuel left at all.
That's risky. What Juho Finn? Can he get into the top 10? Big C's the time to beat here. And he does. He displaces Big C. He embarrasses the 7-time PSGL F1 champion. And I wonder who else is going to come out. No sight of Abby Oden. He's just leaving the pit garage as is 20 Boy Jr. Obviously a Dutch driver, a lot of Dutch fans here, so this is what he'll classify as his home Grand Prix. But Abby Oden's coming out of the pits in the McLaren, so we'll give him some airtime.
Yeah, it was a last-minute addition to to the grid, I feel. Yeah, he requested to be placed on about 5 minutes before we set off, and eventually was placed in the McLaren Honda, which is obviously vacated by Ash Best, who won't be racing for the rest of the season, despite leading the championship.
And Josh, I know that you've had setups from Abbey Odin in the past. What can he do here in the McLaren Honda?
I think the car will suit him. His driver really likes a pointy front end, like a Kimi Räikkönen, like a Roman Grosjean. He likes a twitchy rear, and he likes the car to, really drift into the corner, really put the power down early. So I think the McLaren might suit him because it's quite a planted car. It's slow in a straight line, but I think if he gets the corners right, he could be challenging the lower ends of the points. Maybe Warren Haig, maybe Ugi Azim. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, we have to see. He's looking reasonably solid at the moment. It's a difficult car to drive. We will turn our attention on the battle for pole position, because it is worth noting that only 2 tenths separate the top 6. But Abbey Odin here on a good lap hold.
He is, and I'm not quite sure what time he's on for at the moment as he heads towards the end of Sector 2 here. But yeah, it should be interesting to see what he can do in that McLaren. Obviously, we've seen some mixed results from people in it so far. Nobody's, not sure if anyone's won a race in it yet, but there's been a couple of podiums certainly.
So far on the lap, he's matching Ugi Azim. Oh, and he's gone in. Oh, that's surprising.
20 Boy Junior is only less than a tenth of pole. Big C's put it 4th. So Big C in the Toro Rosso has gone 4th on the grid. But what about AMS? What about AMS, or AMS as some people like to call him? Look at that, he's slid. Oh, that's lap over surely. That's lap over surely. He'll have to go again. And QPR Beast has just gone fastest. That is a very good lap time in the Renault. Who else should we be keeping our eyes on at this moment? I'm hearing report.
JP Greenwood is about to finish his lap.
Oh, hang on.
It's not a quick lap, but it's a laugh.
He was in lean coming out of the final corner and doesn't even set a time.
Failure to set that time. What about Sutty LMF fan? I think that's actually Dano, because Dano's PSN was banned due to disgusting behaviour. I don't know what was said, but he puts it 11th on the grid ahead of
second place.
So he improved.
Moves into second.
Yeah, surprising given the slide he had. So there are other drivers out there. Jack Tyler 4th, flying Frome in the Force India. Obviously he'll be hoping to be flying as well today. Mr. Grumpy's also out there, who's in the Red Bull for today. So he's got an overpowered vehicle, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah, he's been in that car before and hasn't overly achieved with it, but he's still just about in the hunt for the title, and it would take a series of rather incredible results to get him there, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, and both Renaults have actually been trading blows. So Jack Lacey took pole off QPR Beast, but QPR Beast took it straight back, Josh, and now flying Frome. Can he have the answer as Vijay Mallya looks on as the Indian court case reveals above him?
He does. He's got his fingers crossed as the Force India flies into the last corner. Really, fighting the curbs. What's he going to do?
No, it doesn't improve.
He's a 10th off.
Grumpy.
Mr. Grumpy now. Take us through this.
He's got a good final corner. He looks good through the final sector. Does the Red Bull here? What can Mr. Grumpy do? Can he put it higher up the grid? No, nobody finding any purchase out there on the circuit. What about Warren Haig? Where is he, Hulk?
He's having to well, he's about to come into the final couple of corners. I'm not sure if he's on a quick lap. I'm not sure where it'll put him. So he's currently in 10th place. Can he improve on that? He comes across the line and does jump up to 7th place with a 107.3.
Crucially,
had a Joel.
That is
Joel
true.
is on a lap. Joel Manu. He's on a good first sector, 16.9. Middle sector, he's done a 30.0. So he's on a personal best lap. Let's see where he puts it.
We'll find out as he heads round the final corner. after a William Fury opens the DRS towards the line. He puts it in the 5th place.
That is
So many
sensational.
drivers. Only driver on a 107.3 there from 5th to 9th
Grumpy
place.
again. Oh, doesn't improve. Doesn't improve. Well, who else is out there? Who else? What about 20 Boy Jr. in the Red Bull? He's out there. Warren Haig. Warren Haig is in the final sector. Here we go. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Warren Haig. You got one more corner to go here. He's absolutely wrenching that Williams. Claire Williams is cutting her hair. She's cutting her wrists. And here we go. Warren Haig cannot improve his lap time. That is a very tight qualifying. He will need a very good start. But 20 Boy Jr. is looking to spoil the party here in the Red Bull. What can he do here, Hulk?
Well, I don't know because the camera's not following him properly. Well, I'm on board with him now. He heads into the final 2 corners. He hasn't improved massively over his previous times. He runs wide and he heads into the final corner. Let's see what times he can do. I don't think he's going to improve. No, he doesn't. He stays P9.
Oh, disappointment. Disappointment, but the star of qualifying, Joliano Manu in 5th place. Just fantastic in the Haas. Jack Tyler is on pole. Jack Tyler's on pole. Would you believe it? In the Ferrari. That's incredible. So Jack Tyler on pole from QPR Beast, Jack Lacey, AMS in 4th, Joliano Manu in 5th, Flying Frame 6th, Big C 7th, Haig 8th, 20 Boy Junior 9th, and Mr. Grumpy rounding out the top 10. So tight qualifying there. I'm hearing there's going to be a lot of wet weather conditions.
Yeah. Can I just point out Ugi Azim, the broken driver down in P13, another disappointing qualifying session from him. You know, when Joliano Manu in the same car is up in 5th, just, you know, says everything that needs to be said.
Yeah. And Hulk, mate, in these conditions, you know, would you be afraid to be out there on circuit? How would you be feeling before the start of a race? You know, sum it up in 10 seconds.
Well, you're never afraid to be on the circuit, but you might be a bit more cautious into turn 1. Some people can be a bit ambitious on the braking, so you have to be watching out at all times. Watch out for any dive bombs and people who aren't used to the weather conditions, but yeah, hopefully we can all get away cleanly.
We'll get away cleanly. Shout out to Remco Humanfish, Leon Bentley and Ian Simcox who are tuning in here today. And Marco Anatovic looks on from the grandstands. The 5 lights are going to be underway shortly. It's Jack Tyler on pole from Flying Frame. Sorry, from QPR Beast. It is away in intermediate conditions, and I think Jack Tyler has got away well. But there's a good start from, I believe it's QPR Beast. There's contact in the background between Force India and Williams. The timing screen's a little bit messed up here, but look at that, the Ferrari's got Renaults everywhere behind him.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not only my time screen that's messed up. Yeah. I have no idea who's actually in the lead or who's second or whatever. But I do know that you have the Ferrari and the Renault going side by side. They were pretty much conjoined coming out of that turn. I think it was turn 3 there. They head down towards this the end of the first sector, working hard, going side by side, I believe, but I can't quite tell because of the camera. And yet, look at the Renault's got ahead there. I think it is.
It's a great overtake, isn't it, Josh? Look at that, both Renaults absolutely mugging off the Ferrari.
Yeah, really testing, showing, you know, their bite to the Ferrari, they're weak, they're passive, but now he's having a look down the inside. Good, you know, they need my words there, but Joliano Manu, fantastic off the stop line. I was watching him, you know, he really challenged their MS for P4.
And the Ferrari moves. Yeah. So Joliano Manu receiving some assistance there from the works Ferrari. And look at that, the Toro Rosso AMS. The AMS is looking very quick. And further behind, Mr. Grumpy has made a move on Big C. And look at that, nobody can see anything, can they, Hulk?
Not with all this spray, and finally look how to sort themselves out though, at least. So we have QPR baseball with AMS and third with Joliano. Joel up in 4th place, and Jack Tyler, who ran into the gravel towards the end of the lap, dropped down to 5th place on pole position.
Yeah, and he's got a Force India attacking him as well. Are there any battles out there that we should be looking at Josh, I hear JP Greenwood's got
JP Greenwood, I was about to say Abby Oden. Actually, no, 20 boy. Watch this. Sensation down the inside, pushes City LM fan wide. Just amazing, fantastic. And Ugi's even lagging his way down to P14, a broken driver. And look at this in the midfield. Take us through all these. You know these positions where we're in P10, P11, P12, P13. Tell us what it's like to be in these.
It's like a dogfight. It's like a dogfight. You're scrapping for everything. You start pigeons fighting over the last piece of bread, or the last piece of McDonald's chips outside a busy Mackey's. And oh my goodness, 20 Boy Junior has lost his wing and he's straight into the pit lane. He's at the back of Abby Oden. But Jack Tyler and Flying Frome are also close as well. Hulk. I don't know what to say after these 3 laps. It's really exciting.
It's been eventful first 3 laps and another 33 to go. But up front, the top 4 seem to be pretty much line astern. You could say that's the top 6 or so. But the top 6 separated by just about 4 seconds.
Yeah, they are separated by 4 seconds, and I've got to say something. JP Greenwood is not letting go of Abby Oden. Meanwhile, Jolyon and Manu doing a great job in 4th place. He was praying for wet weather conditions. This could be the break that he so desperately needs. He is 9 points adrift of Ashford's Championship leader, who will not be competing for the rest of the season. So, yeah, and I'm sorry to say, Warren Haig has got past Big C. So Big C absolutely struggling in these conditions. So Haig making inroads as well. So it's all kicking off. And oh my goodness, Flying Frame and Jolyon and Manu. They're battling here for 4th and 5th. Talk us through this, Hulk and Josh.
Which one of us do you want to see?
Any will do.
Go ahead, tell us about Josh.
Well, it looks like Joel lost the back end coming into the start of Sector 3, which allowed Flying Frome to get ahead. The Flying Frome just lost the back end there, and he's lost 2 positions. Jack Tyler and Mr. Grumpy, he's fallen down to 7th place now, and Joel has just about kept a hold of 4th place.
Sutty LM fan, sorry to interrupt, but Sutty LM fan and JP Greenwood. Fantastic battle for P11. JP Greenwood really doesn't want to let go. He sniffs points, and the Mercedes and Ferrari side by side through the hairpin. Let's see, gets a bit of traction.
They are really fighting out there. JP Greenwood on a massive run of form. 2 points finishes, 1 in F5 and 1 in FP. And look at this, JP Greenwood, a renewed driver, wrenching the wheel, but he has to give that position up to Dano, who is racing under a new name, Sooty LM fan. So it's very interesting here today. But we'll go back on board here with Jack Tyler for the second, because he is right up the rear of Jolyon and Manu here at the moment. Jack Lacey, that's the fastest lap.
Mr. Grumpy, he's caught these two now on the battle for P4, so he's showing good race pace in the Red Bull. Obviously in intermediate conditions, going to suit. He's a bit of a wet weather specialist, and talking of wet weather specialists, Jolyon Manu, the title favourite, he's a bit of a wet weather specialist, and he's really showing us why today, up in P4 in the house.
Game Freaker and Juho Finn are battling, aren't they, as well? But this is the battle to stay on board with Mr. Grumpy here, Hulk.
Yep, there was some erratic driving from Jack Tyler there to defend the position, and it looks like he might have to concede this if Mr. Grumpy can send one off the inside, which is just what he's done. There's a tiny bit of contact, and Jack Tyler being forced off the track there by Mr. Grumpy in the Red Bull. And it looks like he's robbed Jack Tyler 5th place, and Jack Tyler's trying to have a little look at the inside, but he's thought better of it, and he's going to have to concede that position now.
And that's what experience does. Mr. Grumpy knows how to win in these skirmishes and battles. If you put him out there on a battlefield in, the 15th or 16th century, he would not die. He would behead the king on the opposition. So, Mr. Grumpy, a seasoned veteran who does not know when to lie down here. One of the most experienced drivers, decorating himself around the Austrian GP circuit here today. One of the most loved drivers on PSGL, Mr. Grumpy, doing a fantastic job in 5th place. Marvellous.
And Big C's getting really frustrated behind Warren Haig. I think he might have a look. Obviously, he's got less engine power than the Toro Rosso. And the Big C, one of the most experienced, not as much as Mr. Grumpy, but still a very experienced driver. But I think he's getting a bit frustrated behind Warren Haig. You know, he hasn't got the engine power of the Williams, so might get a bit, you know. Big C and Warren Haig have raced for years. Big C knows where he's weak. He knows where to send his nose. So,
sorry, I've got to look at Juho, Finn and Game Freaker here. Sorry, I just have to change my attentions. So Game Freaker battling really hard for 14th, and look at that, the Mercedes trying to have a look down the inside. Game Freaker is absolutely struggling in these wretched conditions in the summer, making no inroads, making up the numbers at the back of the grid here.
Well, yeah, he's just about holding on for 14th place at the moment, although it's just a matter of time and Duopin can have a look at the inside here, and yes, he has, and that was a good move from Duopin. Managed to find Game Freaker a bit there. It's not usually an overtaking spot.
Yeah, and we'll turn our attention back up front because the gap was just 2 tenths. I wonder if there could be a movement here for the lead. There rarely is. I mean, usually, because these drivers are so evenly matched in pace, you know, you don't usually see too many overtakes in the front. Usually it's more towards the midfield, isn't it, where you see the action. So
that is true, but this time you have two relatively evenly matched drivers in the same car, and that means I might have an interesting scrap for the lead certainly throughout this race, as neither drivers being able to pull away from one another, and yeah, they're still separated by just about half a second.
yeah, and we'll turn our attention elsewhere because I don't think anything's going to kick off down here. Where things could possibly kick off is I don't think Big C's going to do anything. Oh, Sutty and JP, they're having it out, aren't they?
Yeah, JP really wants his P11. Yeah, he might not know where the point scoring system ends because the way he's fighting for this P11, he's really holding all the drivers which come up behind him. Ugi Azim, Sooty LM Fan, Juho Finn, you know, any driver that comes up behind him, he's really fighting hard. 3-second time penalty for Jack Tyler. That's going to help drivers such as Mr. Grumpy and Giuliano Manu, you know, to secure their top 5 positions. With all the experience they have, you know, that won't phase them. And yeah, back on board watching Sooty LM Fan now, trying to challenge for P11.
Yeah, and I just wonder, could we see something spectacular between these two drivers? They have had coming-togethers before. They've both had coming-togethers with other drivers, with themselves. They often fight the steering wheel when they're driving by themselves. But here today, JP Greenwood looking a renewed man, and he's looking to get back on the case of Abby Oden. And JP Greenwood like a shark in these conditions, swimming with fishes here. So anything else out there on track? Mr. Grumpy is closing in on the back of Jolyon and Manu, and I think this one could get quite interesting and quite heated. And Hulk, you know Grumpy really well, don't you? He's a fellow admin in the F4 League. Can he get himself on the podium if he gets past Joel?
Probably not. It looks like AMS is a bit too quick for the rest of them today. Obviously the front two are in a class of their own at the moment, so it'll be quite difficult. But obviously in these conditions anything can happen. Just take one mistake from one of the top 3 and that will promote Joel at the moment, or Mr. Grumpy if he gets past. He looks like he might do at some point in the race, and that would promote them up into a podium spot.
Yeah, but Grumpy doesn't seem to have the engine power compared to Joel, so it's going to have to be through the corners or under braking. And looking at he gains under braking, so there's these opportunity here. He's got to stay close through the middle sector. However hard and difficult it may be, the experience of Mr. Grumpy is showing in these conditions. And look at that, he's enjoying the balance of the Red Bull as he decorates himself around the racetrack here today in front of the Austrian fans, and one of which is Marko Arnautovic looking on from the grandstands here today, Austrian footballer.
Interesting verb to use when describing someone going around a racetrack, but nevertheless.
Oh, Giuliano Manu! Oh. Sorry, these two drivers are so experienced. I mean, that's a shame. Joel's lost the position. But, you know, when you're a title favourite, you have to be cautious and let people go.
Jack Tyler's all out of shape as well behind, so I wonder what's happening there. And Sooty and JP, I think they might have had an issue somewhere, and there's been a change in position as they are hunting down Abby Odom very, very fast. So I wonder if Abby's going to back them up, maybe cause a bit of drama to protect his final point.
Possibly, I think that's an option. But Jolie Anu Manu will go on board with the title favourite. I mean, I think he wants P4 back. I think I may have been wrong with my analysis the first time round. I think he wants P4. I think he wants to show he's the most experienced driver, not Mr. Grumpy. Joel's got experience off the track. You know, he's built up in the paddock, you know, in other ways rather than just the races competed in. So I really think he wants his P4.
He does, but he ain't going to get it, is he, Hulk? I think Mr. Grumpy's made the move. You know, he's made his bed, and now he's going to lie in it.
You know, I'm not sure there'll be any lying in it. He might be trying to push hard and catch up to EMS. There was a bit of a moment, over 3 seconds, but it's not impossible for him to try and catch that if he pushes hard. Obviously, he doesn't want to make any mistakes, but he might be catching by 10 to 2.
Oh my God, JP Greenwood, sorry to interrupt, but he's making a move for P10.
Oh, I can't get the move. I can't get it up. Yes, we have.
He hit the driver. They made contact. Oh, and Eric Boulier shaking his head. You know, he's sacked. He's in the pits just watching today, but he's still supporting the McLaren team. And he's shaking his head. And now P12, P13, broken Ugi Azim is called up to rescue. And yeah.
There's a 1/10 gap for the lead. I've got to change here because there could be a movement here. QPR Beast having to go defensive here from Jack Lacey and the Renault team. They're really concerned here. Cyril Wabitable gives a concerned look on the pit wall, and look at that. Jack Lacey trying to make a move around the outside. QPR Beast knows where to place his car, and that is the end of that battle. But JP Greenwood and Abby Odom, oh my goodness, there's 3 abreast here. There's 5 cars sideways. I don't know what's happening. The camera angle is now right here. Talk us through this. Oh, Abby Odom there, protecting himself, eh?
Don't worry, but now Ugi Azim up to P12, you know, moving up, but he's still 7 positions behind his teammate, Johnny on him, I knew in the same car, so still a disappointing drive, and City LM fan looking to get back in, but JP Greenwood into the points, a renewed driver, revitalised driver, you know, new vitamins, new minerals in his blood, and he's really showing us what it means to be born again, you know, him and Mercedes, loving the wet conditions in P10. And Warren Haig in the pits, he always likes to pit early, he always likes to give a camera time in the pits. You know, he's been around a long time, he knows how the sponsors work. And what tyres does he put on?
Yeah, he's got his coverage, but I have a feeling JP Greenwood isn't getting away as well as he thought he would have. And look at that, these drivers behind are battling. Ugi Azim out of shape, an amateur error, which allows Sooty LMC fan to get alongside him. Hulk, how do you describe these opening 12 laps of the Austrian Grand Prix?
Well, you never really have a chance to draw your breath here. There's been battles all over the grid, and nobody's really paused and sat back and trying to. We've been able to build a gap really, as Warren here passes Joe Finland is on his fresh tyres. And yeah, so it's been very exciting 12 laps as QPR Beast just hit the wall there.
Oh my goodness.
And that's Jack Lacey.
Oh, he's surely in the pits. Is he missing a wing?
It looks like he's got wing damage from the understeer, yeah.
Oh no, he can't be staying out. I don't know what's happened there, but Jack Lacey isn't too far off the championship lead. To my knowledge, he isn't too far off it. He has had a race ban recently in the F1 League for offensive, you know, behaviour, but he is back here today and he's proven himself, you know, why he is one of the best drivers on the PSGL site, driving fantastically in these conditions. But QPR Beast is absolutely struggling. As much as I want to see JP Greenwood, this has the hallmarks of being one interesting battle between QPR Beast and AMS. Yeah,
I can't see QPR Beast being able to defend with that wing damage that he's certainly got, and yeah, it might be quite difficult for AMS to get past through the middle sector, but it will hold it up a fair bit, but might have to have a daring move down the inside through one of these corners.
Yeah, you just never know what can happen around a track like this. Now, it's worth noting that Jack Lacey is currently 19 points behind Joel. If it was to finish like this, he would only be 9 points behind Joel with 2 rounds to go. So it just shows how in FB one race can really change the complexion of the title fight. We've been hyping up Joel, but Jack Tyler, I believe, has made movements. No, Joel is in the pits. Is this bad timing? Because the likes of Abby Oden, Ugi Azim, JP Greenwood aren't looking to pit anytime soon, and Warren Haig is catching the back. So Julian Manu putting his focus on Warren Haig here, but Jack Lacey is an outside contender for the title. AMS, in fact, is on 49 points, so he's 11 points behind Joel, so he could throw himself into the mix. So it'd be interesting where Joel comes out, and looking at the flurry of 5 cars going past him, he will not like this one bit.
It couldn't be a worse place to come out in, to be honest. He's come out behind the JP Greenwood train, which has just been feisty all race, you know, like vultures scrapping together for food, and Joel is going to be on the rear end of it, you know, a newly arrived vulture. They're not going to welcome him very much, and he's already locked up going into that corner, you know. I think he's struggling a bit at the moment. He's focusing too much on Warren Haig. And what have you seen? What have you seen?
I just wonder here if QPR Beast is backing AMS up here, because this could be crucial, because if AMS has been backed up, Joel could actually undercut the pair of them who've got damage. So Ugi Azim here, he's fighting Abby Oden here for 9th, 10th, 11th, and I hope for the sake of the stream none of these drivers come into the pits, because this could get really, really messy and ugly, and that's exactly what we want, isn't it, guys? An ugly race. And we may be moving into a new age of Formula 1 as JP Greenwood closes into 7-time PSGL champion Big C. But this battle is extraordinary, and Joel is now 6 tenths behind Sutty, LMFC, and AMS, sorry, do we go AMS? Oh, look at that, well to well. So, AMS won't be happy with this.
I think QPR Beast really is backing off AMS. I think he's working for Team Jolianu Manu, you know, maybe he wants Joel to win the title, and, you know, he's stayed out with a broken wing, you know, which is an odd decision, but now Mr. Grumpy's called the pair of them, so we'll see if Louis can keep him behind.
Yeah, but Joel's come out into some horrendous traffic. I do want to get a view of Joel soon, but this battle just looks so intriguing. Oh, I don't know what to do. Joel's made a move on Sutty. He's made a move on Sutty, and next up is Ugi Azim. So it is kicking off. It is kicking off. But AMS now, he's hating every moment behind QPR Beast, who's really, really, really backing this pack up here, Hulk.
He is. I'm not sure if that's... it's probably not intent. It's probably just struggling in the car that he's being given. But either way, it's creating a very interesting race so far. And one here catching up to the back of this train as well. So we could have even more cars joining it as Joel tries to pick his way through the pack.
Yeah, well, we'll go back on board with Joel in just a moment. Yes, we will. We'll have a look at him here. Look at that. Will he go for it? He has to. He knows that he is the man to move. Will Ugi Azim just heed way here? He'll leave the inside open. He knows that he's not in the same battle with Joel here. But Joel has to get his braking spot on. Abby Oden there goes to the inside, defensive minded, but Joel making a world-class overtake on Ugi Azim, and now he has to get a move down the Haas. What would the Haas... Sorry, on the McLaren. Will the McLaren go defensive? Jolyon and Manu making inroads. What will happen here? Will he go for it? He knows he has to. He's got a title to win, and Abby Oden does not want to make it easy. Joel getting frustrated. He does not want to throw this championship opportunity down the drain. He's never won a PSGL title. Will he go around the outside here? Uses the grip. Being pushed wide by the McLaren. Here we go. Jolyon and Manu using all of his experience in wet weather conditions. And is there going to be contact? No, they're very, very close, but Jolyon and Manu, what a fantastic job. Abby Oden surely has to back out, but that is do or die there from Jolyon and Manu.
Amazing move. One of the best moves I've ever seen from Jolyon and Manu there. You know, that is a title-winning move from the title favourite. That is just amazing. And flying through pits as well.
Yeah, but Mr.
As
Grumpy
does the broken driver. Oh.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where Throne comes out, because I think he could possibly jump.
Warren Haig down the inside of Sutty LM fan. Good move there, and Joel, he's jumped flying from.
He's just flying from was behind him, But he's just come out and I don't know what's happening here. There's a McLaren and a Force India having a tussle. Abbey Oden and Flying Throne getting close and personal. Oh, I don't know if Warren Hayes picked up damage. He's gone straight into the back of Abbey Hulk. What's going on here? So we've got two battles. We have to look at AMS, surely. We have to.
Yeah, definitely that is for the more important position of second place for QPR. Well, seeing that, but he has been stuck behind QPRBs for the past 7 laps or so and still hasn't been able to find his way past, and that has actually allowed Mr. Grumpy to catch up to the back of him. And can Mr. Grumpy find his way into a podium place?
Take us through this out.
Well, right there as he heads down pit straight, Mr. Grumpy thinking better of making a move into turn 1. He might be looking into the hairpin at the end of the beginning of the second sector, but AMS will be getting a slight toll from QPRBs, which isn't going to help Mr. Grumpy, and Mr. Grumpy again can't find a way through at the moment. It's finding it quite difficult to overtake the Toro Rosso driver.
Oh, that's brilliant insight there, Hulk. And Big C coming out of the pits, look at that, in 12th, nowhere near any of the contenders. But it's worth noting, JP Greenwood is now up into 6th place, yet to make a pit stop in the Mercedes. This man is absolutely renewed. It's amazing what one race can do to you, and he's enjoying himself out there. But Mr. Grumpy now right all over the back here of AMS. It's really getting heated, it's really getting personal, and QPR Beasts is the proverbial cork in the bottle here. And, you know, Markoven out of it, still looking down from the grandstands. He's loving this race. He's loving what he's seeing. You know, it's like a rainy day in Stoke for him. But Mr. Grumpy, what can he do? A wet weather specialist tucked up behind AMS here. So I think Sooty could be making movements.
Oh my god, the contact to the back. Oh my god. I caught the end of it here, and Sooty LM fan, Abbey Oden, and I think there was one more driver involved. I think it was Big C, was it? They had some sort of coming together.
Big
some
C
sort of
looks like he's
crash.
wounded. He looks wounded.
It was an almighty crash. There was 3 cars on the grass. It was lovely to see. Big C's now going to be behind JP Greenwood on track, like having the same amount of pit stops. So.
And where is Game Freaker? Game Freaker could move up into the final point scoring position for a temporary moment, yet to make a pit stop. So it seems like Sooty and Abbey Oden have continued. AMS and we missed AMS and QPR Beast battling here. Oh, it's getting really heated. AMS sideways, and Mr. Grumpy picks his moment and moves up into the final podium scoring position for now. Wow, what can you say? What can you say?
Just fantastic, you know. Mr. Grumpy is not as experienced to slip past AMS for the right time, and AMS looks broken. You know, a passive driver couldn't get the move done, and now, you know, he's not going to win this championship. Giuliano Manu, he sees the future. You know, he knows when he needs to get a higher position in this race if he's going to challenge, but he can't get past Louis, and now Mr. Grumpy's challenging for P2.
And Jack Tyler's in as well. It's worth noting that, Hulk. So how could that shape up in the battle for the podium?
Well, it is interesting that the top 4 drivers haven't stopped yet. They are well over halfway through this race, and as far as I'm aware, the intermediate tyres will not last an entire race distance. So, taking these tyres quite far. I'm not sure if the weather's scheduled to dry up at any point, and that might explain why they're staying out so long.
It might do, but what's happening here is Flying Throne and Jack Tyler are very close to each other. In fact, Flying Throne attacking Jolyon and Manu, who is in a battle, a massive battle here. He's not going to come out, is Joel. He's not going to come out ahead of QPR Beast and Mr. Grumpy at this particular rate, because look how close Jack Tyler was to all of them. So it just matters on how QPR Beast negotiates this lap here to protect from the undercut. And looking at the Ferrari has gone into the gravel. A rookie mistake there from Jack Tyler. Still got a lot to learn these conditions. But Joel is really enjoying himself. Look at that Flying Throne trying to make a move. Joel says, no, I don't want to give it up. And this is really starting to heat up, isn't it? At this moment in time in the race. But Joel's got to be careful. Oh, he's lost himself, and oh, he's got to give up that position. Flying Throne was too quick. Just focus on your race. Joel, let him go. Let him go and focus on AMS. But Joel is really struggling out there, isn't he? Did he pit too early, Finters?
I think the issue now, after that mistake, he might not might not get out ahead of Mr. Grumpy and AMS once they pit, and probably going to say Hulk. So.
No, I was just saying on the idea of pitting too early, maybe all Black Crew should probably stop that, as Mr. Grumpy's just being passed by AMS again, and they're going side by side down the, what would be the DRS straight. Can Mr. Grumpy hold it around the outside and regain third position? He's certainly trying it. Will he get a better exit? And then the inside for the next corner. No, unfortunately AMS looks to have regained third place.
Yeah, that's one hell of a battle, and I think Joel just got scared off there by flying frame a little bit. He got nervous. He's never been in a position where he's challenging for a title, so new nerves for Jolyon and Manu. Jack Lacey pits from the lead. He's probably won this race by a country mile with 15 laps to go. Well, do you think some of these drivers are actually holding it out there until the end because their tyre wear isn't that bad? I mean, tyre wear isn't that bad around Austria anyway on harder tyre compound, so that could play into the race, Josh.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. Obviously, we're not aware of the intermediate tyre wear in these conditions, so we don't know if they can make it to the end or not. But what I'm aware of is QPR Beast is definitely racing not for himself but for other drivers here, because he's one of those drivers who races not to spoil but to frustrate, let's say. And I feel like with his broken wing, he really wants to frustrate some of the drivers behind him today, because he would have been in earlier, if it wasn't a special occasion. So he's definitely staying out for other reasons than his own race.
Yeah, and I don't know if you'd agree with that, Hulk.
No, do I agree with the idea of it, or do I agree with that's what he's doing?
Whatever you make of it. Oh my goodness, Mr. Grumpy and AMS going side by side. It's really heating up. Mr. Grumpy, very experienced. He knows how to negotiate these types of drivers, and he makes that move. He makes it stick, and like a shark strikes out of nowhere. It's like watching Jaws at times. And Mr. Grumpy, who's done it all this race, and AMS says, you know what, I've had enough. If he's going to overtake me like that, I'm going to get myself straight into the pits, get a new set of boots on, and re-overtake him this way. And 20 Boy Jr. picks up a 3-second time penalty. Now it'll be interesting to see where AMS feeds out in the wider context of the race. Obviously he'll have fresher tyres than the likes of Jolyon and Manu, but will he come out ahead of Joel? No, he'll be behind Jack Tyler. Well, Warren Haig. I think Warren Haig and AMS is a battle that we've got to keep an eye out. This is going to be close. And he's done him. Haig will not let him go. I know this for a fact. Haig will not let that position slip, whatever happens this race.
So Joel has gained positions by pitting early, but his tyres might be struggling more at the end. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it to the end. We'll have to wait and see.
He's not going to. He might not. But Josh, what he's going to be worried about the most, Jolyon and Manu, is the presence of Jack Tyler behind him in the Ferrari. Joel doesn't know Jack Tyler that much as a racer. We don't either. So it'd be interesting to see how that pans out, as Sooty and Abby Oden are still going at it following their contact, which did capture Big C.
Yeah, Big C down in P15, really struggling, embarrassing from the driver who's got no podiums this season in the Formula 1 league. For a 7-time champion, that's just not good enough. And now he's behind Game Freak, he's behind Ugi Azim, a broken man. Just, it's disappointing to see. And
20 Boy Jr. decided to go on the dry tyres, he's on the soft tyres. It's an interesting decision, quite bold.
Maybe
not one I agree with.
To dry up.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't look dry enough at the moment, though.
Oh dear, this doesn't look good. Abby Oden and Sooty fan. It just looks like something could happen here. Look at that, the McLaren putting the Ferrari under all sorts. Will he have a go down the inside? I just hope we see a bit more action here. Will he? No. Abby Oden surely has to line something up at the end of this one. Surely, for the sake of the viewers, he's got to line something up here, down at the end of this braking zone. Maybe he's listening to the gods above and he's hearing what the fans want to see. And no, he doesn't. He refuses.
Oh my God, JP Greenwood.
Hey, that's a batting into sorry. And the yellow flag's out there somewhere, which is probably for 20.
Yeah. But can I just point out, JP Greenwood, he's made a pit stop and neither Abby, Sooty or Juho have. So JP Greenwood a net P9 at the moment. Just absolutely fantastic. And Mr. Grumpy, pitting him a Red Bull.
Be
Really,
interesting to
really
see.
wobbling. Oh, Jack Lacey. Too much is going on here, and just take
That's all right.
take the
Hulk,
voice.
Hulk, where is Mr. Grumpy going to come out now? It's going to be a very, very close battle here between AMS, Warren Haig, Jack Tyler, and I'm just frightened here for what Mr. Grumpy could come back out into. You know, a man of his experience will be concerned by me.
Yeah, you should come out a couple of seconds behind those two, considering he pitted a fair bit later than EMS, but he should have very fresh tyres coming on to the final 12 laps or so. Yeah, it's going to be quite difficult. He was running up in 4th position. I think he's waited a bit
sorry,
too
Hulk.
long to pit.
Sorry, Hulk, I had to interrupt you because Warren Haig and AMS were just battling. Do you want to take us through this interesting
JP
battle?
Greenwood, I'm sorry to interrupt, but JP Greenwood's just gone from 12th to 10th in 2 corners. What a drive. What a driver. Honestly. He's just gone from P12 to... mate, just, I'm lost for words. Go back to AMS and Warren Haig now. Personal battle. I'm sure you'd agree, Aaron.
I do agree, Hulk, and you know this one. This could get really personal. You know how Haig is. You know, he's a man who doesn't want to give an inch. He will fight to the absolute last death of the sword here. You know, much like Mr. Grumpy, Haig is an old-fashioned driver who does not know when to quit. And look at that, he weaves to the inside, weaves to the outside. What will happen here, Hulk?
Well, you'd expect AMS to make short work of Haig under usual conditions, considering how much younger those tyres are on the Toro Rosso, but Warren Haig isn't a normal driver. He can defend, be indefensible at times, and that's probably what he's trying to do here.
And Grumpy is on the back of this queue as well, but look at that, Haig really defensive. He really wants to win a title this season, and look at that, he defends to the inside, and he will be perfecting his braking point. And look at that, all that experience, he'll go straight to the inside with Haig. He will not leave the outside open, and he will make sure AMS does not have much room to negotiate.
We've missed a pass for the lead, sorry to interrupt, but Jack Lacey's just passed.
That's alright, there's a
P1.
50 lap tyre difference. Forget that battle. This is more personal here. Haig and AMS. This is the battle that the viewers want to see. Viewers want to see a bit of drama, they want to see a bit of action, they want to see something really personal where drivers really get emotionally embedded within the battles that they're involved in. And Hulk, you've been involved in many, many emotionally heated battles with Haig over the seasons, and he even cost you a podium finish at Catalonia, you know.
Well, yeah, you could say that. But yeah, it looks like AMS might have dropped off ever so slightly from Warren Haig, and that's allowed Mr. Grumpy to catch up a fair bit. But yeah, I think Warren Haig made a tiny bit of mistake in the last 2 corners to allow AMS to close up even further. So now we've got a 3-way battle for what will be 6th position, or it is 6th position rather. And can AMS pass into the hairpins? That's to be one of the best opportunities he's had recently. Is he going to have a dive up the inside? Looks like, well, the outside is what he went for in the end, and will he duck back for the inside and get a better run down onto what would be the DRS straight? What he has done, but he doesn't have the straight line speed, looks like.
Oh, what on earth was that? It must have winged his AMS. I don't know what kind of half-hearted manoeuvre that was.
Oh my god, Abbey Oden, he's done one of the most aggressive crashes I've ever seen in my life. Just going more with him right now, honestly, the way he flew into that wall. I mean,
A&E for
I'm
him
concerned
tonight.
for his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry there, Hulk, because this battle between AMS and Mr. Grumpy and Haig is getting personal. AMS actually lost a bit of his wing there. I don't think that was Haig's fault. I thought AMS went for a half-hearted look down the inside, and probably in that incident, I don't know. I just don't know what happened there.
Well, yeah, it did look exactly like it was like Haig had come to the inside, and then the EMS decided that I'm going to try and go through a gap that wasn't there, and he paid the price for it. Unfortunately, that has allowed Grumpy to get past in 7th place, and now he's having the next drive to have a look at Warren Haig for 6th place.
It's a losing battle for Haig. I think this one is a Red Bull versus a Mercedes, and I think Grumpy will use all of his experience, and Warren Haig runs him out of road. And well, AMS have a go back at Mr. Grumpy here. I just love drivers battling in this feisty, old-fashioned manner here tonight. Game Freak is in the pits. Oh, I just want to have a little look at him. Oh, No, I can't. This battle's too personal. Look at that. Grumpy around the outside. Clean around the outside of Haig. Haig mugged off through the middle section there, Hulk. And what a move from Grumpy.
You know, it was a very solid move from the Red Bull driver. He also felt that he couldn't outpace Williams on the straight, so he went for an unorthodox overtaking location that paid off for him. And up to P6, and he might try and catch up to Jack Tyler, who's in P5. He does also have a 3-second time penalty to Jack Tyler, so Mr. Grumpy only has to get within 3 seconds to take fifth.
Yeah, and I think Haig's got to fight for all he's worth to get this 7th place. Haig has been unhappy with the car selection. Look at that, and AMS is through. And is Haig making a statement to the admins? Put me in a faster car. Put me in a faster car, and he's down to 8th. He would have hoped for a better finish, but he is an F4 driver competing against F1 drivers on the grid. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he's a very political driver, Warren Haig. You know, I feel like he could be making a point, as you said, to the admins about the car selection. I mean, he's old-fashioned, but at the same time, he knows how to share his opinion, you know, without words. So, you know, he needs to really fight here, really fight. And it's interesting to see that Juho Finn and QPR Beats, they haven't made a pit stop. So those two drivers trying to get to the end without making a pit stop, currently in 2nd place and 9th place respectively, you know, would be brilliant results for both of them. So maybe those two are ambitiously trying to get to the end.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I wish I could see the tyre damage on those cars at the moment. They must be desperate for a pit stop.
And we're hearing that AMS had turn 1 to make that move, so Haig will not be happy. So if that is the case, then the stewards should have a look at that, and I'm sure Haig may have words afterwards. But flying frame here all over the back of QPR Beast. Renault will not have an answer for the Force India, surely, but the Renault is trying, he's trying. Will the Renault try something here? Look at that, right on the edge of the track, the wheels are locking, and this braking zone will be interesting. Flying frame will not want to be given an inch. He's got the far better horsepower down the straight, and what can QPR Beast do in the braking zone? He can't go later, he's understeering, and that is a great move. And look at that, he comes out of nowhere, but Flying frame will know he's got this move done. He's got to keep the braking spot on here, and QPR Beast will not have the grip to keep that move around the outside. And phenomenal there from Flying Frame, an experienced move. And Jolyon and Manu is 3 seconds off the podium, and Jack Tyler is in close company. We know Jack's got a penalty, but wow, what exciting battles as 20 Boy Jr. meddles about with the tyres. He's absolutely screwed this race up. And Jack's all over the back here of Joel, whose tyres will be getting very worn towards this stage one, the early hitters. And look at that, are we seeing conditions dry up? I'm looking here at the moment, and I just think conditions could dry up very, very shortly. It'd be interesting to see if the DRS enables anytime soon. So some of these drivers may struggle in these conditions. I wonder what Jack Tyler will have in store here for Jolyon and Manu down into his braking zone, and he's keeping it solid. It's a good drive so far from Jack, isn't it, guys?
I think in these conditions, you know, experience really shines through. You know, if it's going to start drying out, then drivers such as Jolyon, Manu, Flying Frome, Mr. Grumpy, or Haig, you know, they're really going to show why they're experienced. And Jack Tyler's been within Jolyon and Manu's 1 second barrier for the last 10 laps or so, and Joel's not, you know, he's not batted an eyelid. He's just gone out there, he's done the job. So, and now he's catching QPR Beasts for P3.
And Hulk, I've got to ask you, can Joel get himself on the podium here? It could happen at the end of this lap, couldn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, QPR Beats tyres must be completely gone by this point. I see. It's much of a challenge. Yeah, it's got outside there, and I think QPR.
Yeah, Hulk, that is one phenomenal overtake, and QPR Beast is in the pits. He can't make the tyres last. Will he go straight onto the slicks? I just wonder, will QPR Beast take the punt onto the slick tyres? But Jolyon and Manu, what an overtake around the outside there, full commitment, and he is now in a podium position. Warren Haig is in. Haig is in. Surely
QPR Beasts.
Surely it's 0-0 for Haig. If he gets this wrong, he's out of the title fight. Oh, Jack Tyler, did he give Joel a little push? I think he's missing his front left end plate there, and Jack Tyler hot on the heels in the braking zone. And Mr. Grumpy, I said it early, he's like a shark He is like a shark and he'll be having a look, surely. And should we quickly have a look at how the tyres are behaving here for Warren Hagen? Yeah, he's losing a lot of time.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great, but it might be great towards the end. And oh, it's not the greatest move. It's not the greatest move. JP also catching Juho in these stages.
Oh my god, no, I've just seen... No, 20 Boy Jr. almost took another drive out there. He went flying across the track into the wall. I mean, that was just dangerous. You know, I thought I was seeing things. I thought I was seeing aliens on the track. He really went flying into the wall.
Game Freak has spun it. Game Freak has lost it in the final sector, but Jack Tyler within 4/10 of Joel here. Hulk, what's going on? With 4 laps to go, what's going on?
I was feeling like people were going mad and thought it was drying enough for dry tyres. You see how Beast has dropped several positions since he made that pit stop. He's lost a position to JP Greenwood and Jewel Finn, who are now running 7th and 8th. And yeah, I can't really see how Jack Tyler's going to find his way past Joel. In the last few laps, he's missing a piece of the front wing. It doesn't look like he has enough pace on the
JP Greenwood.
On board.
Sorry.
This is a personal battle for 7th. It's really heating up. JP Greenwood, could he get his best finish of the season? And Juho Finn doesn't decide to fight that one. Will he ever go back into the braking zone, or will he be content with the points that he can get out of this one? JP Greenwood is absolutely driving the race of his life around Austria. This is a phenomenal performance in tricky conditions like these. Currently in 7th. Can he hold it together? However, and QPR Beast loses even more positions, and Haig will be absolutely gutted where he is on the grid. But Jack Tyler right all over the back here of Jolyon and Manu here, Hulk.
Yep, and he has been for the past however many laps, and he still hasn't found a way to pass, but he might have a chance here. He's got a very good run out the final corner. He's now alongside the Haas driver. He's going to have a look around the outside in turn 1. We're going to see here, it looks like that is what he's going for. He's ran wide on the exit though, and that hasn't helped him at all. And Joel managed to drive away, still with his 3rd place.
Yeah, and it's worth noting.
Oh, and Juho Finn's had an issue. Juho Finn's pitting with 2 laps. Oh, he's got a puncture.
Oh no, he's tried it.
He was doing so well in the pits. Oh.
What a shame. What a shame. It's over. It's over. And Big C will be jubilant as he moves up into the final point scoring position. Does the PSGL 7-time champion, who is making a move here on QPR Beast, who is on the slick tyres. I wonder if conditions are improving slightly, but no, QPR Beast is fighting this one. We'll ride on board with this. I know Jack and Joel are battling, but we'll just see this here.
This is personal, yeah, stay on board.
Oh, Jack's made a move here on Joel, and I think Mr. Grumpy's having a look as well, and Joel does not want to give this one up. This is a battle for the championship, and Mr. Grumpy, he's fighting for himself. He's going around the outside. Joel's got to be careful he doesn't crash down. He makes that one stick. So beautiful stuff there from the Haas driver, but he's under threat here. He's under threat. Does he want to lose time against Mr. Grumpy, or will Mr. Grumpy just tuck up behind and say, I don't want to get involved in this battle with 2 laps to go? Hulk, what can we expect now?
Well, Joel just needs to stay within 3 seconds. He would have 3rd place, but it doesn't look like he's going to try and do that. He's going to try and go for the win, for the podium on track. He looks on the outside of Jack Tyler here, and Jack Tyler forcing him off track. That's a bit some interesting defensive manoeuvres there from Jack Tyler. Mr. Grumpy gets past because of that, and he's going to have a look at the inside. I know he can't quite manage it there, but yeah, that's that defensive driving from Jack Tyler cost Joel position there, dropping down to 5th place.
On the positive for Joe, he's only driving until 5 not to have a penalty.
Sorry, yeah, he doesn't have a penalty. I think the other 2
Joel
do.
doesn't have a penalty. Grumpy does, yeah. So.
Well, Joel needs to stay with him, and he needs to hope Jack Tyler stays ahead of Grumpy. But Grumpy is looking for a podium, and what a move, clean around the outside. And Mr. Grumpy could steal that podium from the clutches of Jolyon and Manu, who was absolutely torn apart there by Jack Tyler and Grumpy. And I don't think Jack wants to give this one up, but I think Grumpy has got this covered in these conditions. We will go back on board with Jack, who is going to take the checkered flag here. And if you guys want to know who's waving the checkered flag, it is Marko Arnautovic. We know we said his name a few times here today, Hulk. There's yellow flags out there, but we will ignore them as
Warren Haig spinning on the dry tyres. There we go.
I think Joe might have a puncture, by the way.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Jolyon Manu's got a puncher! Championship up in smokes here in Austria.
Oh, no.
Oh no, Jolyon Manu's got a long way to go. But I'll tell you who hasn't got a long way to go is Jack Lacey. So Joel Naive pitting so early, and now it's come back to bite him. But guess what? Jack Lacey has one more corner to go to win this race, and he could be a title contender. AMS will definitely be a title contender. Here we go. Jack Lacey to the line. Marko Anatovic waves the checkered flag and he wins. Flying Frame will take home what will be a fantastic second place. And who will get that final podium?
Oh my
Joel's
God,
got a long
JP
way.
Greenwood. Can we focus on JP Greenwood a second? Closing in on Ugazim and Giuliano Manu. JP Greenwood could get... Sorry, carry on.
We can
I think Mr.
look at
Grumpy's
it.
got P3.
Yeah, I just don't know where Joel is on the circuit. Look at that. Oh no, he's got to give way there. JP Greenwood around the outside. Phenomenal drive there from Jack Tyler, finishes 5th. AMS 4th. Ugi Azim would take 6th. So after all those criticisms, it's a good drive. JP Greenwood will pick up a sensational 7th place. And I wonder what Big C's going to do. I think Big C and Joel are very, very good friends here. I think there will be a little bit of joshing going on here.
Surely.
But 8th and 9th, and I think just nursing that pass to the finish line is Big C.
Pushing him.
Oh wow, what a race! And oh, that is so gutting for Joel, who could really have hounded in on the championship lead. The wait will have to go on for another week or so, but what a race that was. And I think that is a race that needed a few commentators with all the battling going on out there on circuit. Wow, I've lost my voice. I don't even know what I was saying half of the time in that closing stage, but look at that. He's excited. Jack Lacey, have some of that. With Flying Frome on the podium, and Mr. Grumpy, sensational drive to finish in 3rd position. He'll be absolutely delighted with that. We will get the podium finishes in soon, but look at them, they're spraying the champagne as Jolyon Manu cries back to the pit lane following that puncture. What could have been a podium has turned into a disaster.
I think maybe we should get JP Greenwood in as well as podium finishers.
I agree.
Next driver day. Maybe Joel to see his reaction.
There's room for 5, so we'll get 5 in.
Yeah.
We'll get 5 in. So Jack Lacey on pole, Flying Frome 2nd, Grumpy fantastic 3rd, AMS 4th, Jack Tyler 5th, Oogie 6th, JP phenomenal in 7th, Joel heartbroken in 8th, Big C 9th, and Sooty LM Fan finishing 10th. So QPR Beast, Joe Finn, Game Freaker all missed out on points, as did Warren Haig, who'll be disappointed to pick up nothing here tonight. So I will give the other drivers an invite. Just one moment, and I'm going to ask for both of your thoughts about the driver of the day. So I'll invite these 4 drivers. Is there a 5th driver I could invite as well for us to maybe have a chat with? I'm thinking maybe, yeah, I think Big C's got a mic, so we'll get Big C in. I think, yeah. Was Mr. Grumpy on that list? He was, wasn't he? That's good. That's fine. So we'll get these drivers in now. Hulk, I've got to ask you. There was a lot going on that race. It was really, really, really difficult to keep up with all of the action. What did you make of that race, and who was your driver of the day?
It was certainly an interesting race. There was a lot going on from this higher field. And so the driver of the day was there was obviously a lot going on up the front of the field. I'd say Mr. Grumpy with the drive from, I think it was about 10th to 3rd. I think he gets my driver of the day.
No, that's fine. I'm just going to quickly give Flying Frome an invite, and then I'm going to ask you, Josh, who your driver of the day was. I know Flying Frome usually disappears. I think I might have invited one too many people in here, but we'll see what happens. No, that's all right. You're welcome to stay. Josh, who was your driver of the day? I know
Yeah.
you were really loving the performance by Jolien and Menu.
Yeah, I was unfortunate with the puncture at the end of the race there, but I agree with Hulk that Mr. Grumpy did a fantastic race, going from P9 to P3, I believe. But for
P10.
me personally, P10 even, sorry. But for me personally, JP Greenwood was my driver of the day. Some of the moves you were doing, you know, at one point I went on board with you and he went from P12 to P9 in about 4 corners. It was just fantastic. And to finish in P7 after starting low down, he's my driver of the day.
No, I agree. I thought JP put in a stellar performance, as did the likes of Flying Frame, Mr. Grumpy and Jack Lacey. So we'll start with the podium interviews, and then we'll speak to some of the other star performers here today, as well as some drivers who, you know, had their hearts broken on that final lap. So we'll start with I can't invite any more, Josh. And we'll start with Jack. You must be delighted with that win.
Over the moon,
Are you delighted with the win?
Yeah, it was alright. But yeah, it was a good good battle at the start with Louis. Kind of made it hard for me in the dirty air, and then he kind of messed up. And I took the lead, and pretty simple from there until the tyres got a bit worn and I had to pit, and I didn't know whether the track was going to dry quickly, but it didn't, so it worked out alright.
No, well done. It's a good win. We won't take much more of your time, as we know it was a very solid drive. You weren't involved in too much, so well done. But we'll move on to Flying Frame, who hustled and bustled his way to finishing in P2. We do hope that your eye injury has now fully recovered. But, you know, well done on your podium. You must be delighted.
Am I allowed to keep milking that
Yeah,
eye injury?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, cheers. Pretty good race, pretty weird really. Congrats to Jack winning in a Renault, was pretty special. But yeah, first stint I had a lot of understeer and I was stuck behind Jack Tyler. I think I went the wrong way really with my setup. So I decided to box early. I knocked my wing up a couple, and it felt okay then. And I were expecting to sort of jump 1 or 2 drivers because I pitted a couple of laps early, but I ended up jumping everyone really. So I was pretty surprised to come out where I did.
No, well done. You know, it was a great drive. We didn't see too much of it, but we saw your great overtake on Joe, and you know, people really enjoyed that on the stream. So well done. And
Cheers.
Josh, do you have any questions for the experienced Mr. Grumpy who came home in the podium?
Yeah, well, obviously we were watching your race very closely. You did a very good job coming from P10 up to P3. What was the highlight, would you say, of your racing tonight? But, you know, any particular overtakes or part of the race? Because you were very busy out there, scrapping the midfield with drivers such as Joel and Flying Froome and QPR Beasts. So what was the highlight, would you say?
Well, I think all my overtakes, to be honest, because I'm not really known for my overtaking, but I've made some really good overtakes tonight, especially in those conditions as well. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Well done on P3. Another podium for yourself. That was good. Now moving on to the next driver, which was JP Greenwood, who finished in P7. JP, how delighted are you with your race today? Because it was honestly, as I said, you were my driver of the day. How do you feel after your race?
Well, thank you for that, Josh. Yeah, amazing. Especially after last week as well, getting points in a wet race. So yeah, I did it for 2 weeks in a row. It's just pretty special. Had an okay start, but unfortunately I dropped behind Abbey Odin in McLaren, and I was hard to get out of the battle between him and myself and Dano. But once I cleared those guys, I managed to spread my legs a bit. That came out wrong. Yeah, that came out a bit wrong. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. Unfortunately, I was a bit too far behind to catch up to anyone else. I was tempted to pit for the softs on my pit stop, but no, I just stayed on the intermediates, and I picked up a few places. People like QPR pit in, and Duo pitted. but I did make a little bit of a mistake on the end of turn 3, and I missed my braking point totally, and I went off deep into the corner and lost P6 to Ugi, unfortunately. But yeah, still massively pleased with that result.
No, well done. It was a sensational drive, and loads of supporters for you again on the stream. So well done for that, and for spreading your legs to get to 7.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that.
You mean spreading your wings?
Yeah.
So we'll move on to now. The driver in P8, a sensational qualifying for Joel. Obviously one of the championship favourites. Everything was going right until the final 2 laps with that battle with Jack Tyler. You're fighting for the podium. You almost had it. The 2 drivers in front of you had a penalty, but then you got a puncture. Just describe how you're feeling emotionally at this particular moment in time.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, and what happened out there with the battle between you and Jack? We saw it got quite close and personal. I know we've been former teammates. You fight, you wear your heart on your sleeve, and the whole of Ballymoney were looking down on you. But what happened?
No, the battle was fine. I had no issues with the battle. Here's a 10-second penalty, so I was going to get the place. Yeah, I had no doubt that I was going to get P3 or P4, and then my tyres were only in the 70s, and then all of a sudden both the rears go to 100, and yeah, it was game over. So I think it's a bit of bad luck, and I hope I get it back in the next 2 races because it's a bit shit.
And with your rival Warren Haig not scoring any points, we saw big inroads made from the likes of from Jack Lacey and AMS tonight. So are you concerned that those 2 drivers could now enter the mix for the title battle now?
Yeah, of course. I was always concerned about the likes of Jack Lacey and stuff. Like, I never personally thought I was the favourite, and I definitely don't now. So, if I can get, I've never finished in the top 3, so if I can get second or third in the drivers, I'll be happy enough.
Yeah, well, there's 2 races to go, and there could be 2 big races, and car selection could play a part. So the final question to you is, if you could choose to have any car apart from the top 3 teams, of course, for Russia, what team would you be eyeing?
I would like the Force India, but I don't think that would be fair, considering there is a title fight and everyone really should be quite close. So I'd take the Renault. I've had good results in the Renault this season and last, so yeah, I'd take that.
Well, I'm sure if you send a brown envelope in the post towards Pakistan, Ugi Azim will definitely comply with the car selection choices. So thank you to everyone who tuned in today. Thank you for joining us in the commentary box, Josh, and obviously Hulk, who's no longer here. So next time out will be Russia, and we'll see you all then. I don't know if you've got any last words, Josh.
No, just to say that Joel might not think he might be happy with second, he says, but I think it's more of his experience. Should always aim for the title, and he's still in with a shot. And things can change. So maybe someone else gets a puncture next week. So yeah, well done to podium finishers and to JP Greenwood and Joel on 7th and 8th today.
Thank you, and we're going to end the stream. So